Welcome. My name is Thomas. I'm here to talk about tax prep basics, where we're going to go through different scenarios throughout the remainder of the summer, showing you how to pay your own individual income taxes based on specific scenarios. So we're going to do single family situations, single moms, single dads with children, single people with no children, married couples with no children, married couples with children, head of household with no head of household with children. Of course, got to have some type of dependent to be considered head of household. So we're gonna cover all the different types of scenarios that I've done in my career in the form of teaching you and showing you how to prepare your own individual specific tax return situation. And so what people don't understand is it's easy for me to teach you how to do your own taxes versus teaching you how to do taxes as a career for a business or for another business because there's so many different situations that's going to come about that you need to be familiar with when it comes to the knowledge of tax preparation that there's so much of it that you'll never use it all. So basically, we learn enough of it where we can compare basic individual 1040 tax returns with people with children, people without children, uh, child care credit, self-employment people, small business, self-employment deduction, health credit, all the different things that are falling in the 1040 tax return that individuals will file on tax return. We run across those in the pursuit of our career or inside of our business if that's what you're looking to do. But if you're not looking to do those things, then me teaching you how to prepare your own individual income taxes is much simpler. So this publication right here, 501, deals with dependents, standard deduction, and filing information. This is the publication we'll go through live that helps you understand the requirements that apply to the children you have that you need to learn about for your individual tax return situation, the filing status that goes with that, the income amount that goes with that, and that covers that information inside this publication 501. So this publication has enough information that we're going to use to help you to learn how to prepare your own tax returns with. Um, the next thing is this is the EIC form. The single mom with two kids, Sarah Lee, she has two kids, so the kids will go on this here form, which is called Earned Income Credit, Schedule EIC. So they first and last names, their social security numbers, their year of birth, and some other questions that they ask you go on here. The relationship, a daughter and a son, how many months in the home, we always put 12, and that's how that works. Then we have some other information that may or may not apply to the overall situation of yours, tax return situation. And so those are the two kids that go on there. Then when it comes to next thing is 1040. The 1040 has this form we fill out for everybody. Everybody gonna fill out a 1040, and the form you just looked at before this one is a supporting form that's attached to the 1040 based on you having children. And so Sarah and James Lee, their social security numbers, the relationship, the child tax credit they qualify for because they're under a certain age. So I checked those two boxes. Uh, the mom, she made 15,890 in wages. So that's the only income she had that carries down to line 11. Her filing status is single. Any person who has children who made under a certain dollar amount, I only give them single status. They make over a certain dollar amount with children, I give them head of household status. So in her situation, she's considered single in my eyes. And then so the standard deduction for singles 12,550. Once you deduct that from what she made, her net income was 3,340. The taxes on that is $333. So she owes $333 right now in taxes. Federal withholdings from her job was 1589 that they took out of her job. Her earning from credit for having two kids and making 15,890 was 5890. So she got $5,890 worth of earned income tax credit. She got additional 500 in refundable child tax credit, and she received recovery rebate credit of 2,800. So those four totals together came out to be 13. No, came out to be 1489. And then on top of that, when you deduct the $333 from that, it came out to her refund being $14,536. So her refund at this point is $14,536, making $15,000, having 2 kids, and the bulk of the money came from earned income tax credit. That's down there $6,000 by itself. Then they gave another $4,500 due to the refundable child tax credit. And so everybody last year in 21 who received advanced child tax payment during that 6-month period, got a letter showing you how much it was. We took that dollar amount and we put it on the tax return because it asked for it, and it asked how many dependents that you get the money for, and we put that on there. And so once we fill that form out, it calculates this credit. Once we answer the recovery rebate credit, and that's for people who got the third stimulus. If you got it, I said yes, put the dollar amount, and once I did that, they calculated an additional $2,800. So these 3 here totals plus this here federal withholdings came out to $14,869 minus the $333 in taxes she owed on the money that she had once she took her standard deduction of $12,550. And so that's how we came up with the refund amount for the money. See the supporting form for that was the Schedule EIC. This is the 8812 that we had to fill out, which gave her the $4,500. Once we figured, once we read this here and did what they asked for, it came out to be that $4,500 that carried over to the 1040 tax return. And so all those things played a role in how we calculated her refund amount. This here, 8867 is the paid prepares due diligence checklist. Every client that gets earned income tax credit, especially for the ones who have children, they must fill this form out. Now, they got sections on the form that if you don't have the knowledge about, you won't know. So with them having kids and making under a certain dollar amount, I checked this box. You qualify for earned income tax credit. With she having kids and making a certain dollar amount and they was at a certain age, she qualified for child tax credit or additional child tax credit or other dependent credit, or check that box. American Opportunity Credit is for people who have kids that's in college. So they're not college age, so that didn't apply. And had a household status she didn't get because she made under a certain amount. And so when it comes to answering these questions, the first question is yes. It said, did you complete the return based on information for the applicable tax year provided by the taxpayer or reasonably obtained by you? And that was yes. Question 2 said, if credits are claimed on the return, did you complete the applicable EIC or child tax credit or additional child tax credit or independent credit worksheet found in the form 1040, 1040 SR, 1040 NR, 1040 PR, or 1040 SS, or Schedule 8812? And then was yes. So check yes to that. Number 3 say, did you satisfy the knowledge requirements? To meet the knowledge requirements, you must do both of the following. Interview the taxpayer, ask questions, and contemporaneously document the taxpayer response to determine that the taxpayer is eligible to claim the credit and or household filing status. And so when it came to that, I said yes. And then question 4, did any information provided by the taxpayer or a third party for use in preparing the return or information released be known to you appear to be incorrect, incomplete, or inconsistent? If yes, you should be doing this return. And that's my opinion based on my knowledge being in this industry for 21 years, 15 as a business owner. Because this question here is vital. Because if the information they give you is incorrect, is incomplete, or inconsistent, then that's a tax return you don't want to touch. So for the most part, we say no to that. So we say no to this. Once we say no to this, we can skip A and B and go down to 5 and say yes. From there, we say 6. Did you ask the taxpayer whether he or she could provide documentation to substantiate eligibility for the credits or filing status? And we say yes to that. Did you ask the taxpayer if any of these credits were disallowed reduced in previous years. We say yes to that. We ask the question. And the simplest way we ask a client that question is that in any previous year, have you ever got a letter from the IRS asking you for more information concerning a tax return? And if so, were you able to send that information in and get your full refund if you didn't get a check up front? And if you got a check up front and got the money in advance and they sent you the letter, was you able to send the information in where they didn't ask for money back? So when you put it that way, they get a better understanding of what you're talking about and they can say yes or no to that. So that's how I phrase that when I ask the clients that situation. And then they say, then we say no to this here, 7A, did you complete the required recertification? The only time you do recertification if they had a disallowance. Other than that, no recertification is needed. If the taxpayer is reporting self-employment income, did you ask questions to prepare a complete, correct Schedule C? And that stands for profit and loss in business. And we didn't have any for this client, so we said no, or not applicable either way. And then we scroll down. Part 2, due diligence questions for return claiming EIC. Have you determined that the taxpayer is eligible to claim the EIC for the number of qualifying children claimed, or is eligible to claim the EIC without qualifying child? So we said yes. In this case, they had kids. Now you got people who single, who make under a certain dollar amount, who get earning from credit for themselves. And this year they lowered the age from 25 to 19. So 19-year-olds who made under a certain dollar amount now qualify for earned income tax credit, which back in the day you had to be 25 in order to qualify for earned income credit. Like I say, due to the tax reform and all the things that's happening, they made changes. I don't know if these changes going to be reversed back to the regular way or not for next year, but as I get new updated information concerning that, I'll let you know in other videos. And so going forward, we say, did you ask the taxpayer if the child lived with the taxpayer for over half the year, even if the taxpayer has support the child the entire year? And we say yes. Did you explain to the taxpayer the rules about claiming the earned income credit when a child is a qualifying child of more than one person, the tiebreaker rule? We say yes. And then the next section, due diligence questions for return claiming child tax credit, district child tax credit, or dependent credit. Have you determined that each qualifying person for the child tax credit, additional child tax credit, or other dependent credit is the taxpayer dependent who is a citizen, national resident of the United States? We said yes to that. Boom. Did you explain to the taxpayer that he or she may not claim the child tax credit, additional child tax credit, if the child has not lived with the taxpayer for over half the year, even if the taxpayer has supported the child, unless the child's custodial parent has released a claim to exemption for the child? So we say yes to that. Boom. We also say, did you explain to the taxpayer the rules about claiming the child tax credit, additional child tax credit, or other dependent credit for the child of divorced or separated parents? Because those rules are different under those situations. So we say yes to that. Boom. Then the next thing is, since we're not claiming any American Opportunity Credit, we either leave that blank or say no. This one's here, have you determined the taxpayer wasn't married or considered unmarried at the last day of the year, which is December 31st? We say yes, bam. And then here it says Editability Certification. It says interview the taxpayer, ask adequate questions, contemporaneously document the taxpayer's response on the return or status to figure the amount of the credit, complete the Form 8867 truthfully and accurately, and completed the actions described in the checklist for any applicable credit claim, and had a household filing status if claimed. Submit Form 8867, boom. Keep all 5 of the filing records for 3 years from the last of the date specified in the Form 8867 instructions under document retention. A copy of this Form 8867, the applicable worksheet, or your own worksheet for any credits claimed. And so we said yes to that. It was all said and done, bam. So this here form will be attached to the 1040 along with the schedule EIC that I showed you previously, along with the 8812. Those 3 forms plus the 1040, which is 4 forms altogether, if not counting the second sheet, will be a part of the tax return that will be sent in electronically to the IRS. So that's how we would teach you how to prepare your own tax return for yourself based on your unique specific situation. So if you're a parent who has 2 kids, you work a job, you have some child care, then we're going to sit down with you live using Zoom to show you how that works. What we're going to do on top of that is we're going to order you some forms, just like you're looking at on the screen, that's going to come directly to your house that we're going to use to help you fill this stuff out by hand, because learning how to do it by hand is the most effective way to learn it and to learn it well. And so that's what we'll do for a person who decides to buy the paid course, which I have already set to go for the person who always wants to learn how to prepare their own taxes and who are already going to a tax service or to an individual where they're paying anywhere from $400 to $700 every year to get that done. So if you want to save some time and money and learn how to prepare your own individual income taxes and feel good about yourself by being able to do that, then reach out to me. I got a description inside all my videos that takes you to the sales page that gives you more information about that, which I give you 3 years worth of support. I give you the website where you're gonna learn how to do your tax return on. You get videos that come with it that's gonna teach you how to prepare to tax return on that specific website at your leisure of your own home, at your own convenience and time, where you feel motivated and inspired to learn how to do so. And so that 3 year support, that website where you get your federal taxes done free. Based on what state you're in, you might not have a state requirement. If you do, that site will allow you to prepare that tax return for $14.99. Or if you like me in Illinois, we have our own website where clients can go to it and do their own state tax return for free. But you might not want to go through all that, especially if you have a lot of data to put in, just to save $14.99 on a state tax return. So if that's the person looking to learn how to do their own and they want to invest in themselves, I have a $297 investment. I'm doing $100 off right now. I don't know how long that's gonna last. So if you want to save $100, the best thing you can do is take action, make the purchase. It's a 12-week course where I give you 90 days to learn how to make that happen with 3 years worth of support. You can't beat that. And so the remainder of the summer, we're going to go through different scenarios that's going to give you a better understanding of how to learn how to prepare your own individual income tax return. And I'll see you in my next video.